Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Devil's Stockbrokers channel. Still getting used to that name. Welcome, everybody. Hey, guys. Welcome. Yes, we are live. Just doing a couple of checks on my sound settings here, making sure everything sounds good and clear. Hey, John Holloway. Nice to see you here. In my opinion, will 401k plans drop when this and AMC rockets? I don't honestly know. Um, this is this is going to be probably one of the most volatile periods that our markets have ever seen when when this finally does hit. I'm going to assume that there's going to be winners and losers on both sides, but I definitely think that traditional investing is going to see a very unforgiving market. So I'm inclined to believe that 401ks are going to be hurt. Thanks, Joe. I have fun doing these. I guess this is a slightly uh, big announcement. The Discord has hit more than 250 members, and it only took 2 days to achieve that number. So thank you everybody for jumping in and being part of the community. That's incredibly flattering. Um, Second to that, um, I guess I'm now, since I started doing this, I'm kind of committed to seeing it through for at least as long as I'm able to. Um, so I guess the channel is going to be a very regular thing, and I don't know what is going to happen with my regular job, but as things currently stand, I'm working a full time job while I'm doing these things as well. So I'll ask everybody to bear with me, but I'm thinking that the loose plan will be to monetize the channel, which YouTube says that I can now do. Um, and if that trend continues, then perhaps I will end up doing this more regularly. Are we still on track with PROG? Let's actually look at Progenity. Because an interesting thing happened with Progenity's short interest recently. You guys should be seeing my Ortex data here. So at this point, we had seen a massive drop off in the share price, and we thought that the exchange reported short interest was, according to Ortex, it had been estimated all the way down here, but the actual short interest was still way up here. So, um, Yeah, a difference of 7 million shares is actually quite significant for a stock with this low of a float. So a lot of people were concerned that the short squeeze was over, and even I thought like maybe the squeeze, maybe this was the squeeze, or maybe they decided to get out early because they didn't see it retracing much further than this. But it does look like either shorts held on or they jump back in. So if we look at the average days on loan, we did see a drop off here, but it stayed relatively even with about 21 days on average. So let's see. It's the 13th, and that would put us right around November the 24th. And the average days on loan then were 23. So looks like most of the shorts are averaging somewhere in this $3 to $4, maybe $4.50 range. But in any case, the part that I found really interesting was that the short interest was the actual reported short interest was much higher than what Ortex had been estimating, and since the report has been released, they made this major correction, and now the estimated short interest is significantly higher, all the way back up to 22, 23 million shares, and that is absolutely within the realm of squeeze territory. What we're missing is price action. Um, because if we consider this drop off to be the point where shorts started shuffling their shares around, then would appear that the it would appear that the average price has moved up for shorts to be around this $3.50 price mark. So right now they're standing in a profit. So in order to put shorts back into a squeeze position, the price will need to move by at least $1. Um, but we'd like to see at least $3, honestly, in order to put that kind of pressure back on them again. The cost to borrow fee is still pretty low. Utilization is still sky high. I don't know how the utilization hasn't moved throughout this entire period, and I'm kind of inclined to believe that it's private deals going on. If you look at this utilization mark, it's been above 98% pretty consistently for over 3 months now. All right. PTPI cost to borrow. I was looking at PTPI. A lot of guys that I chat with have been calling this one out to me, and I need to make some other plays because right now just being in Progenity is honestly a little bit boring at the moment. There's just not a whole lot going on. We're just waiting for those announcements to come through. The price action is consolidation for days on end. I think that we're getting to the close of that phase, but still, it's nice to watch something actually do something. PTPI short interest is 27% of the free float, with 2.25 million shares roughly. Now that is interesting. Need to look at the average days on loan. Let's see. So for PTPI, the number of loans is 172 with an average 11 days on loan. So most of the shorts are actually way down. They're way down. Pretty much on top of it's looking like buck 60, between a buck 60 and a buck 80. So shorts are definitely under pressure. The cost to borrow is massive. We saw this huge price action, and the other stock that I wanted to call out is looking a lot like this. So um, let's see. This was on Monday after a big run on Friday. So I'm betting that this was partially due to gamma, but we'll need to look at some options data to find out. Let's look at the options history. Bar chart won't let me look at it. We'll just look at the options prices then. If somebody does happen to have a screenshot of what those options looked like before. Oh, there are no options on PTPI. Interesting. So then this was all just pure buying action. This is just price action. There's no gamma involved in this at all. Interesting. So strange the short interest went so high and the price went up so rapidly. I guess shorts got stuck in this, trying to play the volatility, and then they doubled down. It's kind of what I'm interpreting from this data. Ooh, that FTD spike is interesting. This is beginning to look a lot like PROG did back in October. Looks a lot like what PROG did back in October. In which case, if it were to follow suit, this would be a good buying price. A little high. You'd be risking about 60 cents. Need to jar it out and see what's up. By the way, those ARDX calls did not work out. So now the Webull account is officially empty. I've played the last of those those measly few dollars. It's just for charting now. Wow. It's already moving. That's quite a move. I would have to be looking for another entry for this because it's already approaching that resistance. Yep. As soon as it falls below this wedge line, it's probably going to fall. Like when it touches this resistance. Or it may break down early. Because there's a gap fill here. So if it stays above this support here, then you'd be in good shape. But this is a really short time frame, so before Friday, you're going to find out if it holds up or if it breaks down. This is a really fast move here. OBV is rising though, so if it does crack through this resistance, then that would be I have to go back and look and see how far back the next resistance is. Oh wow. That's all there is. Interesting. This is kind of a sky's the limit scenario right here. Because you don't know what what it will do once it breaks through this resistance, how far it will go. I'm not saying it'll go by much, but this OBV rising and the shorts getting all this pressure put on them is big. But I'm a big options player, so if I'm gonna play something like this, I'm gonna play it with calls. But you're approaching your risk. You're approaching resistance rapidly. So I would say you have to be really careful here. Because once it touches this resistance, it can go either way. It can even break down before that. But yeah, I'd say just be careful with that. Dilly, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Ah, I did not change the title of the stream. Thank you very much. I will fix that. There we go. So sorry about that. Thoughts on the PFE announcement this morning? Likely to follow with more news, or is it irrelevant? I didn't actually look at the Pfizer announcement. I didn't get a chance to. I've had a really hectic morning, and if I'm being honest, I haven't been able to do much good due diligence research on hardly anything for the last several weeks. I've been tracking Progenity because that's where I'm most exposed. Second to that is AMC, but I haven't been able to look at Pfizer. I apologize. My cat's in the background yelling to be let out. Give me 2 seconds. He doesn't like to spend more than an hour with me at a time. It's just asking too much. Yeah, now I understand what the confusion was all about. Why everybody was asking, "Hey, why is this actually live?" Because I had the title wrong. Newbie mistakes. I'll need to go do some quick research here. See about this Pfizer. See about this Pfizer news release. Pfizer booster approved for 16 and 17-year-olds. That's good news. Should have been playing Pfizer. Every time I played Pfizer, I've made at least 1 times 5 my cash. Whatever I put into it, I usually make a 50% profit every time there's a Pfizer announcement. It's just been one thing after another. I feel like, you just can't lose. They're on such a hot streak. And here I am sounding like a gambler, but like, it's a good company. First one to get their COVID vaccine out there, and they're the first one every single time there's a new variant. Um, they get a vaccine out for it, and just generally being on top of pharmaceuticals, can't really complain. And so the speculation was that Pfizer was going to talk about orally delivered vaccines, which I'm not sure that they did talk about in this. If somebody has a link to the transcripts that would be willing to go drop that in live stream questions, that would help me out tremendously. But the speculation was that Pfizer is going to be doing some research into orally delivered vaccines, and with Progenity's OBDS delivery system, you would theoretically be able to just swallow a pill and then have the pill actually deliver the vaccination basically by like a hidden surette that introduces it directly into the bloodstream. I was looking at trailers of the technology done by the I believe it was the University of Nebraska. I'd have to go and find the video. It was shared with me on Twitter, but there's an actual video that of the main brainchild behind the OBDS that works at the University of Nebraska. Actually shows what the pill does. It actually opens up and it attaches to the wall of the intestine, and then it deploys a very, very tiny, like it's a super small needle, and then it just inserts into the tract of the wall of the intestine and delivers whatever drug it is, and then as the intestine heals itself naturally, then the pill just falls away and you just pass it, which I thought was pretty cool. How many shares are needed to get Progenity to $4? Um, Let me go do a little bit of charting here on Progenity. Let's see where we are. Okay. Volume's just so low. To get it back above $4, I'm thinking around 80 million. Just a ballpark. $80 million in volume would absolutely drive us up towards $4. I need to be careful because it's important to know that volume is neither bullish nor bearish. It's just trading overall, so it can go in either direction. But what it indicates to us is excitement for the stock, and in order to get that kind of result, we really need that announcement to come through. That's really what we're waiting on. We've been in this consolidation phase for a while, and now that we're bouncing off of support repeatedly and we're establishing new higher lows, it does look like interest is returning. See, we hit $2.13, and then over here we bounced off of $2.32. And my next guess is we're going to make another bounce off of 240 at some point here in the near future. And then we'll move into our next phase, whatever that is. Maybe upside or downside. But if we're establishing higher lows, you assume it's going to be upside. Talk stock. I've never looked into it's Talkspace Incorporated. I've not looked into this company at all. Ooh, wow. Big IPO and a straight, just a free fall, man. I mean, it's low for sure. I don't know. I don't know anything about this stock though. It's really hard to get a read on this. There's nothing about it that looks good. I may have to do some research on this one, but I wouldn't touch it really. Do I think they won't announce the partnership in 2021? I don't see why they wouldn't. It's going to be up to whatever non-disclosure agreements they've signed, if there's some timelines on those, or if there are some requirements that they have before they'll be able to make those statements public. And that may also hinge on their research. So if their research depends on them actually releasing or getting clinical data together, then it may take some time. The preclinical trials for a lot of these delivery systems are in the works. If I understand it, they've already moved into clinical phase with the precludia, and then they're in preclinical for DDS and OBDS. So at some point, we can expect that they're going to make the announcement. It's just going to be a matter of what hits first. Do they need to get their data out? Do they need to get their research papers completed and published? Are they waiting on additional patents before they make any public announcements? Or are they just waiting for their partner, the counterparty, to say that that it's time to make that announcement? Yeah, congratulations on PTPI. It was well played. I'm gonna stay out of that one, but that was nicely played. Do have to say. Looks like it's bending around, so if you're looking for an entry, I'd wait to see if it bounces off the VWAP here. The VWAP is lining up with this wedge, so wait to see if it touches 380, and if it holds up, then that may still be a good entry point. But it's pretty overbought right now, so. Oh, let's see. RSI is cooling off a bit, so yeah, I take that back. This may be the best entry. Wait and see what it does. Give it a few more, let's say 20 to 30 minutes. Let this whole chart develop out from the rest of this wedge. See what it does. Gotta fix this a little bit though. Don't know how I got that all messed up. Oh, I drew it down here. That's why my magnet attached it to that instead. Oh, God, Weeble, drive me nuts. It's probably because I drew it and redrew it and then moved my timelines. Weeble's not very good about redrawing these. I think it's okay now. We need some devil stockbroker emotes in here. I agree. I'll have to set people up with more mod access to add that sort of stuff in here. I actually don't know how to do that yet. Big shout out to the mod team for all the support. They've honestly been working way harder than I have, coming up with all these ideas and building out the Discord and stuff. Thank you guys. Look into the fundamentals of JPEX, penny stock OTC market, doing a reverse merger with a company called vMost, which is a cybersecurity company. OTCs make me nervous. I'll look at it. Well, it's got the right movement. You have a double top here. No, this is an inverted cup and handle. What you are looking at here is an inverted cup and handle. And that is a bearish trading signal. Your 50-day moving average is starting to turn around. The 200-day moving average is following it. If this doesn't break out, then expect it to consolidate. And then for the 50-day moving average to start moving downtrend. Now, it's really overbought right now. So in the short term, this will probably break down. Well, you said you wanted the fundamentals. So you don't care about technicals, I assume. I've got a lot of stock tickers to look into. I think they're just kind of piling on and on. So I apologize if I can't get to them. But my initial impression is that for one, it's OTC. So OTC is always very risky, and just not sure that I want to go and dig into this one yet. Let's see. Just catching up with chat a little bit. Sorry for the silence. Tara the Bull and Charles Payne got axed by Twitter. Like their account. What? When did this happen? Holy cow, we have 100 people in here. I never expected 100 people to pay attention to anything that I have to say. But thank you for joining. If you do like what I have to say, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that helps bring the other people in here just to talk about this, that, and the other. Absolutely would appreciate that. Logical Chaos is asking about ABTC. I think that's ABCT, actually. We were looking at that one the other day. Short-term rate trace. It's a bit of a volatility pop. This is kind of expected. Think about how down this thing has been for a while. It's been in oversold territory. It's actually, it's kind of a wonky cup and handle, but it's kind of broken down a little bit. But your 20-day moving average has just moved above the 50-day moving average moved above the 200. So if we get volume and positive price action, that'll be confirmation of a golden cross. And that would have occurred on Friday. So this may just be a good entry point based on technicals. I don't know anything about this company. Given their name, I like cloud technology. Cloud's not going anywhere. And the OBV is slightly divergent as well. So the sell-off is very pronounced, but the OBV very shallow by comparison. If this had been a true sell-off, then the OBV now would line up with what it was back here based on the price. So there's still a lot more buyers behind you. There's a lot of people that are holding based on this. And now your MACD is starting to shallow out, so this is a consolidation phase that we're looking into here. Let's see what we got. Falling wedges like this are bullish. I wish the Weeble would behave. Yeah, this is a bull flag, and you're about ready to break out of it. So, consolidation going into here. Let's see if... Okay. You're about to break out of this bull flag. This is not a bad entry. Now that it's shallowing out here, you got a chance to see some positive price action. The MACD just crossed, so it's in your favor. This is actually a good entry point for a day trade. And this volatility is nice. The volume sold off a lot, or the volume fell off a lot. And the price coming down this much, this is definitely load up point. So if there's something to this company, if your fundamental research tells you that this company is worth investing in, and that they've got something for people to get excited about in the short term, then this is actually a good point to double down. If you got in at the top, I'm sorry, but if you wanted some technicals just on this, this does look like a good entry, and you're actually at support with where it was trading back at the beginning of the month. So this is your risk line at $1.50. So if it breaks below $1.50, then I guess stop out. That's your risk. Not financial advice. But that's what I would be doing if I was in this play. I would double down, throw in some extra cash, look for a rebound, and see what it does here in the next couple of weeks. But that's my swing trade strategy. For a day trade, you're looking for maybe 185, maybe $2. But I think that you'd be holding it into tomorrow at least for that. So much AMC FUD. Yeah, tell me about it. Let's look at AMC. Haven't looked at AMC yet today. AMC got absolutely hammered. It's starting to get ridiculous now. OBV is still holding up. It's unbelievable. It just absolutely baffles me. If I were to look back at the OBV, going all the way back to June 3rd. Yeah, see, that screws with it too badly. OBV gets messed with too badly when I do that. Weeble does not like the AMC chart. Oh, as I was saying, OBV is strongly diverging from the price action. It's only dropped off by about, like 200 million shares just in the last week. It's not a lot. No, and you know what? I see a inverse head and shoulders forming here. Look to see a bounce here, and for us to come back up to this resistance at about 34. This will take days, but intraday, we should be looking for a bounce here and probably close the week somewhere above $30. Right now it looks really bearish, but this is actually good entry. I'm tapped out though. I don't have any money for other plays. BBIG is doing something. I'm interested in what BBIG is doing. Oh, hello BBIG. This is very nice to see you. Finally starting to break out of this falling wedge. We have been in this for a long time. Yeah, I want to see us break through this $3 resistance. We've tapped on it 4 times this past 5 trading days. Broke through. Let's see, 1, 2. Ever since this fall and breakdown, we've hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times with 3 breakouts. This one and this one being the 2 clearest breakouts. So the third one, it's interesting. Like on the third breakout with these stocks when they're being played like this, the third one is usually the one that finally cracks through the ceiling and sends it ripping. Price action is looking very interesting too. The volume is returning, so that is interesting. And look at this on the daily. Yep, we had a volume pop back here, so this is a little bit of an outlier. The last time we had a big volume pop, it was a bad red day. But it was followed by this run. So with how oversold we've been, I'm betting the next volume pop will be towards the upside. I did buy some calls in BBIG in my other account, so I have those that I picked up around the end of November. Here's an interesting question. Based on my research of stocks, would I believe that the week's red sea of sell pressure is due mainly to the Fed meeting or liquidity hunting by institutions and loss harvesting? So, the Fed meeting had a lot to do with it, but I find it hard to believe that these institutions didn't see it coming. The Fed has been teasing about inflation, inflation, inflation for a long time. And I find it so difficult to believe that these hedge funds just all panicked and sold off everything. Let's look at the whole market overall. NASDAQ and the NYSE are deep in the red, so is the S&P 500. Got about 70 to 75% in decline, over 25% advancing. ESSC is doing phenomenally. I'm sorry to everybody that I doubted on this stock. I really thought that this was a major rug pull. I read the filings on this, and somebody did call this out to me right right on this day when it had ripped for, let's see, yeah, it ripped all the way to $14, and they pinged me and said, "Hey, look at this," and I was like, "Okay, I will." And then I read the filings, and there was all this talk of the float being 13 million shares, and I interpreted it differently. That the shares that they considered locked up, there was over 100 million shares that they claimed were locked up, and I wasn't sure about it. And then in the middle of it, just this huge rug pull. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay out of this one. But clearly somebody knew something, so I guess maybe I was wrong. Obviously, I was wrong. It's gone up 200% since I made that statement. Well, 180%, but close. So it's obviously moving. One of the big catalysts that was called out to me on this one was options, um, and I truthfully don't know. I truthfully don't know what their situation with their float is. If there is really a gamma squeeze that 13 million shares are that there are 13 million shares in the float, and then if that's true, then in the money you have more than 150% of those options in the float, or options in the money worth of the free float, just for this Friday. And that being the case, congratulations to everybody who got in on this. I really did have my doubts, and I just decided to stay out of it, and I told people to be careful. But maybe that was just me looking through the lens of this gigantic red candle that happened in the middle of me researching it. And I just decided, you know what? Not for me. But to everybody else who held on to their convictions and stuck to their research, that's why I say do your own research, because I don't know everything. I don't look into these things. I can't look into all these things perfectly. It always takes a team of researchers to pick out all the possibilities. There's no way that one guy can do it all.
Let's see. Sorry, guys. I need to check up on work real quick. So I'll put us back on AMC for right now because AMC is starting to bend back around, starting to look a little bit interesting. Big Migs, I'm sorry that I missed your super chat. Thank you very much. PROG's price action. Yeah, we did talk about Progenity a little bit. The main thing that I called out was this bottom here. We are still in consolidation. Did kind of see this bottom coming. We had set this support level here for just that occasion. And as soon as it touched it, bounded back up around and went through 240. Right now, we're expecting it to fall back to 240, retest this level, and then move from there. Our current resistance, the next big resistance is at 265. And this has been a consistent support resistance level for us for a while now, for the last several days. We were bouncing off of it repeatedly here in this range. We were range bound for a little while in consolidation, then we broke through, and now we retested our lows. So we've got support here and here. So like I said, look for it to touch 240 again, and then go back up to challenge 260. Whichever one comes first, I am not certain of, but this is the new range that we're likely to bounce around in for a little while. And at the moment, this consolidation has been going on for a long time now, compared to Progenity's previous moves. AMC, GME, and SPY charts all look the same. They kind of do. I'm not going to lie. It really does look very, very similar. I don't think I'm going to be able to stick around for Power Hour for the rest of it anyway, guys. I am sorry. But I'm excited to see Progenity is rebounding here and it's maintaining its levels. So I know that we saw a sell-off early in the morning. It always sucks. Like, it's no fun, but we still held our levels. We're still trading above the VWAP. So this quote sell-off is just somebody trying to load up. Algorithms are still playing this stock heavily. The volume's low enough that they can push it around still. But that announcement is going to be big. And you'll notice there's a very significant set of shares here on the order books. We got some very large bids here. So someone's loading up. Someone wants their shares. I just want to put all of these on the daily or 30-minute chart. Yeah. GameStop and AMC look very similar. The SPY is moving inversely. It was tracking down for a while during this whole sell-off. Like, this is how you can tell the whole market was just sick. It was just, the SPY was hugging porcelain for several days, just throwing up all over itself. Now it looks like we've hardly got anything in terms of volume for the SPY. Well, a bit of a low period anyway. Rough sell-offs are rough. Well, let's see what we got. AMC tested a new low. GameStop broke through its previous support. Yep. Big red candles. It's no fun. No fun at all. But it is what it is. Geez, just keep coming back and finding something new to play. AMC and GME aren't going anywhere. They'll be here in the markets for a good long while. I suspect so will the apes and the GME holders. Man, Progenity, you're making this end of day real exciting. So proud of you. BBIG is retesting that $3 level right here at the end of the day. I am so stoked to see this. Really excited to see what it do now. Well, I think that this is where I'm going to have to call it because I have to get to a meeting, unfortunately. Always has to happen right around this time because it's end of day on the East Coast. So everybody wants to get their last few thoughts in. I'll try to catch up with chat really quickly. Just fly by and fire away at everything. If PROG wakes up, use the proceeds for AMC. Hell yeah, that's the name of the game. Make money to make money. SYTA, I will write that one down as one to look into. I did see volatility halts on that. SYTA. Got it. Look at that one. Cootery, thank you. You don't have to do that, but it is certainly appreciated. I will hoist a beer in your honor. I really need to get better at keeping up with chat. I get stuck on doing one DD at a time, and then I go off down a rabbit hole, and I leave everybody else behind. I'm sorry about that. Still trying to get used to this whole business here. Sick of inflation? Yeah, you and me both. Thoughts on PTPI? I already covered that one a little bit earlier on in the stream. As I said, congratulations to everybody. It does look like there's potential for a short squeeze here. There's no options though, so there's no gamma involved. Looking at the update, yep, it broke through this wedge, so look for it to retest this level, this 334. Somewhere in this area between 330 and 335 is where it's going to test, and then look for it to bounce off of that level. See if it continues on its trend. Raw call. Happy to help. Hopefully AMC will turn around right quick for all of us. INO, I will have to write down that ticker. Look into that one. Double bottom. Inverse cup and handle. Don't know. Not sure about this one. I'll have to do some fundamental research on this one. I've got it written down. I'll take a look into it for you. is Jason eating Chick-fil-A again? Tell him I said thank you. Taking on all that cholesterol just for our portfolio's sake. Unusual whale data. I should be looking at that. And then after that, I'm going to have to bail. Flow on PROG. Virginity flow is currently bearish. Mostly calls being sold. That's just on the very high flow. Most recent actions were, well, I think I can show you guys this. I should be able to show you this. So this is the most recent flow for whales. That's above $10,000 in premium. Currently, it's a bit of a mixed bag. There was a sweep order on the market for $2.50 strikes expiring this Friday, and it hit this morning. So that's an interesting correlation. Thank you for making me look at this, because this is actually interesting. Yep. Yep. Sell-off going into the morning. They bought at 9/11. How did they buy before the market opened? That doesn't make sense. Oh, this is my time. That's why. They bought this at noon, right after noon. Yeah, they knew. They knew it was going to turn around, the sons of bitches. Someone knew. Motherfuckers. Someone always knows. Someone always knows. To be fair, the RSI is oversold, the OBV was diverging, and the MACD was starting to turn, level out. But like that's perfectly timed. That's like exact perfect timing. You can't get a better fill than that. There's just no way. You can't get a better fill than that. They nailed it on this green candle. Exactly at the top of this green candle, right here is where that order got filled for those $2.50 calls. And they're currently printing right now. So that person's happy. MACD crossed. So they predicted the cross by about an hour, 50 minutes, about 50 minutes. Welp. Well played. That's all I have time for, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for coming by. And thank you for considering joining the Discord. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share with everybody who's interested in learning a little bit about the markets. And I'll see you guys next time.